What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. Today is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, and this is how we traded SPY today. Now, the first thing we're going to do is look at the chart, and you can see already from looking at this chart, look at all those lines. Oh my goodness. Now, when you first look at it, you think, oh man, there's a lot of different targets in there, until you realize there's not a whole lot of space between this target. So again, let's look at pre-market high up here at about 507.02, pre-market low 505.55. So that's what we've got. We've got a buck and a half to work with, somewhere right around in there, a buck and a half from the bottom to the top. That's, I look at that and I think, you know what, that's pretty good. But at the same time, I'm looking at all of these different levels in between. How many different levels do I have to get through to go from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top? Well, let's count them up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different levels to get through during market hours. Oh my goodness. So the question is, how did it play out? And we are getting ready to answer that question. So we're just kind of bouncing around again. We've got that pre-market low sitting down here, 505.55 pre-market high. The pre-market high actually came in, relatively early in pre-market, 8 o'clock this morning. So 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central time. But when we talk about time, we generally talk about market hours. So everything is based on market hours. So here's what happened right out of the chute this morning, bouncing around. What did we get? Now, generally speaking, I like to wait, 10 or 12 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes for that first play out of the gate. But every now and again, you get one of those plays that is just so perfectly set up that you are forced to take the trade. Now, I've said it before. I'm going to say it right now. If your edge presents itself, you are compelled to put on the trade. You're compelled to put on the trade because, quite frankly, you never know what's going to happen once you put on that trade. Could be a winning trade, could be a losing trade, but you never know what is going to go on. So that's kind of what we're looking at, folks. So right out of the gate, first minute, we had a double cross to the downside. So I'm thinking, hey, we've got a double cross to the downside, but we were directly above both VWAP and the POC. POC was obviously right around in here. That second candle, so we're literally 2 minutes into the day at this point. I'm thinking, okay, let's take this thing for a ride. Let's see if we can take out a few levels. So right here, first cross, and I jumped the cross, obviously. I didn't have a whole lot of risk. What did I have? I had 49 through 62. I had like 14 cents worth of risk, folks. That is very, 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 very little risk. Okay, so anyway, jump this trade just a little bit before the cross, but again, double cross to the downside. If you're looking at a 2-minute candle, this is going to be a death cross. So this is going to be a 920 VWAP and POC on that same candle. So death cross to the downside after the first 2 minutes. So what do? You jump the trade, you get in there. And at this point, folks, we're looking for levels. Okay, well, we kind of had a hard time getting to this level, but you know what? It's early in the day. Let's see if we can take out this 5-minute double bottom. And I'm talking to the guys. I said, guys, let this thing breathe a little bit. Let's see if we can push down to the next level. Trust what you are seeing on the screen. And trust it, the vast majority, a lot of the members in the group took this trade. Now, I don't call out my trades only because there's liability in calling out trades. I basically say, okay, if this happens, this is what we expect to happen. And anyway, that's exactly what happened. So we got through this first level, 506.30. Let's remember that 506.30 because that level will probably play out later in the day. So 506.30 down to this 15-minute zone. This was a 15-minute zone if you remember back from yesterday. We got down to this zone and then we rocketed back up. So we were able to push through this zone very, very easily down to the next 15-minute zone down here at 505.87. Pushed right through that. Right on down through this 15-minute intraday double bottom. This actually wasn't here. Wasn't here then, so this line wasn't here. So we're shooting for this next target down, which is pre-market low. So I'm thinking at this point, you know what? It's been a good play. What do we get? little over $1, right around $1 out of this play. $1 out of the play in the first 15 minutes of trading. Hey, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful play back to the downside. When we hit pre-market low, I said, you know what? I'm fine taking out the pre-market low. We hadn't taken out pre-market high at this point. So take the trade off the table. And we got that first one in the books. It was a really, really nice trade back to the downside. Didn't play any of this nonsense in here. Wasn't really breaching enough levels for me. Cross up. I did take this one to the downside. Where did I close? Oh, I closed out right here because we were able to get through. So I took this. It was essentially a death cross to the downside again on this candle right here at 10:35. So about an hour after I took that first trade, second trade, back to the downside. Now, when my 9 and 20 are close together, that is a preference for me for taking trades. It's a lot easier to predefine my risk when my 9 and 20 are closer together. Yeah, is it easier for them to reverse? Absolutely. But I had a couple of different things going on here. Number one, cross of the 920 to the downside, a cross of the VWAP, and we breached this level 50612 at the same time on the same candle. It tried to turn around on me, ran up to this 50630, and I was thinking, you know what? If I close up there, oops, hey, I'm taking an L on it. That did not happen. I gave this one a little bit of room to breathe. I could have closed it out at this level 505.73. But you know what? I kind of thought we were going to take out pre-market low again. I was wrong. Decent little trade back to the downside. Now, here is where all of these levels come into play. Because again, what do we have? We had 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lines between pre-market high and pre-market low. Whenever you have that many levels to work through, it's going to be a rough day. And it was indeed a rough day. Considering, what do you have between these candles? So you've got, you got, 18 cents between these levels right here. You've got another, 30 cents between. You don't have a whole lot of space between these levels. So the result is, unless you get the absolute perfect entry and the perfect exit, you're probably going to get chopped up. You hear about people talking about, oh, I got chopped up in that play. It's because of these kinds of things right here with all of these different levels. So I'm thinking at this point, it had a nice run to the downside on that first play. It's a good day, so why chance it? So look what it did all throughout a good part of the day, folks. It ran between these two levels. So this 505.73 up through, let's call it 506.70. So you got a 55-cent move, 55 cents. So you have to absolutely nail your entries. And gosh, there's just not a whole lot of room for error on these. Again, look at this. It just wasn't doing a whole lot. It was just kind of bouncing around. I figured at some point, it would break. I could look at the higher time frames. What were the higher time frames telling me? The higher time frames were telling me the same thing. It was double bottom, double top all over the place on the 5-minute and on the 3-minute. Actually, let's go to that 5-minute. It was here, folks. It was, you can see what happened over here. But it was here. It was here, folks. It was chop city in here. And when it's chop city, you got a couple of different things working against you. Number one, theta is working against you, which is the time decay of money. And we worry about that, or we are concerned about that. We know about that when we are trading options. And another thing is you just don't have a whole lot of space between the levels. The last one is implied volatility. So IV. So you get IV crush. So you have those three things working against you on a day like today with all of these different levels. Now, did we finally get a run? Yeah, we got a nice little run to the downside. Did I trust it? Absolutely not. I didn't trust it. I mean, you got a 15-cent candle, and a 15-cent candle on a day like today is a good candle. Any other day, it's like, it's just a 15-cent candle. And you can do well, if you trade a bunch of 15-cent candles, particularly if they're back to back. But we finally got a cross down here, So we are making some lower lows in here. Finally took out this pre-market low. Didn't take anything to the downside here because, again, quite frankly, I didn't trust anything in here. Finally came down, and almost to the penny, we had a 30-minute demand zone sitting down here at 504.76. 504.76. Again, 30-minute demand zone from last Thursday. That zone's sitting down there from last Thursday. Buyers sitting there thinking, you know what? It's on sale at this price, so I'm going to buy at this level. I'm going to buy it up at a high level from this level, buy a bunch of shares, and then push it up. So what did it do the rest of the day? Well, as you can see, it just kind of bounced around, got into this small range again. And, the traders are thinking, why am I even trading today? And the answer to that is, I don't know why you're trading today. These days happen every now and again, and when they happen, and you can see that just based on the number of lines that I have on my chart today, again, it's probably not going to be the greatest day unless, we can get some movement of some kind. So again, bouncing around, ranging, tight range. I mean, look at this, 23 or 25 up through 55 or 60. You got zero range in there. You're talking about a 35-cent range at that point. Folks, that's really not enough unless you're high frequency trading, your computer's doing everything, in which case you can do very, very well. But we finally started to move. What do we move? Right around. Now, this happened right at 1 o'clock. So we had a report come out. It was the 7-year, I think it was the 7-year bonds came out today. 7-year notes came out today at 1 o'clock. So we hit that low, and then what did it do the rest of the day? I guess that report came in good. After reports came in earlier today, consumer confidence was down. So we had bad reports come out today, bounced around. We had a good report in the 7-year note that came out, and it just kind of bounced around a little bit, and then it ran back up. So it ran back up, and it's taking out zones along the way. But these zones are so small. By the time you take the time element into account, you're breaking even best case scenario unless you can get a couple of good candles. And even then, the zones are so tight that it's really, really difficult to do anything. Unless you're trading futures. If you're trading futures, you might have done at least okay. But anyway, took out this 5-minute. Remember this double bottom, 506.30, 506.30 that I talked about in pre-market. Remember this level, 506.30, that could be a key level throughout the day. That's why we chart these things, folks. That's why we chart them. So 506.30, so we ran down, touched 506.12, came down again, 15-minute demand zone from last Thursday, punched back up over that 506.30, and it ran just up a little bit, And I was talking to the folks in the group, and because we had come down to this 506.30 earlier and bounced and used that as really good support, I said, you know what? And it's late in the day at this point, you'll have 40 minutes left in the trading day at this point, so theta is really, really working against you. But you can get SPX contracts for really, really cheap this time of the day. So I said, okay, if we get the bounce off of this 30 again, I'm putting on the trade, and let's see if we can take it up to, this double top up in here. So not a big trade. What are we talking about? 30-cent trade, 25-cent trade, nothing like that. But on SPX, that works out to be, pretty decent money. So anyway, caught that trade right there, ran it up. And at that point, I'm thinking, you know what? What do we got left in the day? We got 20 minutes left in the day. We have 15 minutes left in the day. What did the 350 candle do? Well, the 350 candle was a beautiful, look at this. That's ugly. That's about as ugly as you can get right there, folks. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So that's how it played out today. It was not a great chart. As far as charts, if I were to grade today on an A to F scale, just from a chart standpoint, with all of the levels, 8 different levels that we had to work through from the bottom to the top, folks, I'm going to rate it at probably a D. Best case scenario, I've obviously seen worse charts. Day after Thanksgiving, 2023, 76 cents total movement during the entire day. Not a good day. So today, we had a couple dollars, $2.30, $2.40 from the bottom all the way back up to the top. But that's how she played out today. It was, for some people, it was a decent day. For other people, they got chopped up. So let this kind of be a lesson. If you have 8 pre-market lines that are 10 or 15 or 18 or 20 cents apart from each other, folks, consider taking the day off and living to fight another day. You can either do that, or you can live with the frustration, the possible frustration of trying to breach different levels and getting whipsawed back and forth all day long, which is essentially what happened the vast majority of the day. So that's really how she played out today. So if you enjoy our videos, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be notified when new information is dropped or new content is dropped, which is generally every day the market is open. Now, if you are interested in live trading, so every single day from bell to bell, live trading, head on over to our Discord server. The link is down below. It's called Trading Decoded. It is the best server in the world. Come check it out. We're going to give you that first week for free. We're going to teach you how to do this, folks. We're going to be patient. If you want a personal call with me, that's fine. I'll do a personal call with you. Every single one of our members has access to us whenever they need it. Within reason, of course. But that's how she played out today. Now, if you're interested in the 920 trading strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. Everything is there. It's lined out. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars for a special class, special indicator, or anything like that. Something super secret. The secret sauce, if you will. There is none of that, folks. There's nothing new in the markets. Absolutely nothing new in the markets. Everything, it's already here. And you have the opportunity every single day to take as much money out of the markets as you can take out of the markets. It's there every single day. Some days are better than others, but the opportunity is there every single day. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with us this Tuesday afternoon. We appreciate you very much. We're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to trade tomorrow, and we're going to do a recap video tomorrow as well. So I hope everybody had a good day today. More than anything, I hope you followed your trading plan today. That is where the magic is. The magic is not in the results. The magic is in the process, folks. So again, head on over to 920trading.com. The entire process is there for you at no charge other than spending a little bit of time over there and reading the material. But again, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us today. We greatly appreciate you, and we will see you in the markets.